Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is January 18th, 2021. Sorry about that, guys. I was doing a live stream and then for some reason it just ended. But on the phone, I have a person that called me earlier because he saw the live stream that I did last night. And he wants to debate that every player on the field does not know of the rigging. He had a friend that used to play for the Los Angeles Chargers who he says had no clue that the NFL was rigged. And it's all a possibility because I've been wrong before. But the thing is, I don't believe in coincidences, and that's why I feel so strongly about the fact that I think that every player is in on it, because it's almost impossible for every player not to be in on it, in my opinion, and for them to have these outcomes so perfectly every single time. So I have the call on the phone, and he's gonna tell us why he thinks the things that he does. So what's going on, caller?
Yeah, so like I was saying, the fact that they have the referees, which are super, super down with the agenda, the mixed with the technology and the amount of players that are, which are their group of players that they use to rig the players, that is enough to rig the entire games and to get the exact response you want. So even if players that don't know, even if they're fucking up and they're overdoing it, you can always pull them for any specific reason. You can always, they have all type of, maybe in the fields also, to make these players trip. And then the flags are so powerful, so they're gonna always they always know how to set the temperature of the game with the flags. So this is what I was saying: the ecology, the refs, and the amount of players, because there are a quite amount of players. You see a lot of players come out of college and they're in fraternities, and even no-name players and big-name players. It doesn't matter really about no-name or big names. Usually, big names are going to always be in it, but even some of the no-name players that are in the brotherhood, they're a part of it too, and that's enough to rig the entire thing. To rig the entire thing to make it go how you want to go. But you cannot. The reason you get people in the leagues that have no clue what's going on and that are not in the brotherhoods, that are not in the fraternities, because you just can't discriminate against someone's numbers. Like if someone's putting up big numbers in college, why would they not get in the NFL? The NFL knows this prematurely. They know you have to let them in the league if they're good, but you don't have to start them for one, and you don't have to let them in on the secret, especially if they're not a part of the fraternity or the brotherhood. And you were saying about the numbers, right?
Yeah. So I looked into Jatavius Brown because I've never heard of him before. I know that you're a good friend of his, but I looked up his date of birth, and he was born on February 18th, 1994, and that's an interesting day because that's the 49th day of the year, and that's a football number. And he was also born on a day with 133 and 43 numerology, and football in Gematria sums to 133 and 43. So it's like, okay, he was definitely born on the perfect day to become a football player. And what's the odds of that? What's the odds that a person is going to be born? I mean, is it destiny, you think? Is it destiny that he was just going to be in the NFL?
Yeah, guys. So I'm going to tell you, I do believe in destiny, but I also believe in free will. It's like a mix between it. So they know this. The knowledge that they use is ancient knowledge. This is nothing that they just made up. They just pulled out their ass, and they just know, hey, Jatavius is going to be born this day. We can't wait to get him in the league. It doesn't work like that. They know about this. Is very deep knowledge about our lives. We were all born with the sun in a certain position, with the moon in a certain position. So all of this lines up for a reason. And once you make it to the league, they can easily, especially if you're going to be a big name.
Okay, so you're saying that the universe, when you're born, the universe has plans for you to be an NFL player. So you're saying that God or whoever is in control of the universe, he cares so much about the NFL that he's gonna make kids born. He's gonna have kids born on a certain day just so they could be NFL players.
No. The destiny is what I'm saying.
So you're saying that Jatavius Brown's destiny was to be an NFL player according to his date of birth?
I don't know according to his date of birth, but this is what happened in his life. So obviously it was a part of his destiny. If you listen, I grew up, like I told you, I grew up on beside. I'm going to tell you from first-hand point of view from growing up beside Jatavius Brown.
You want to know what I think? You want to know what I think? I think that maybe when he was in college, maybe he didn't know when he was in college, right? But the scouts, they saw that he had great potential. And maybe there was other players on the team when he was in college that had as much potential as him, but being that his numbers fit better than the other
I got
players, that's why he
I
was
got you.
chosen.
I got you. And listen, go if you want to. I'm going to prove that's not true. He was the most dominant linebacker. He went to Akron. He went to a small school. He got into some trouble in high school. I won't tell like his business. He got into some trouble in high school with this girl, yada yada. So he had to end up going to a smaller school because he was like his dream school was Miami, University of Miami, but he couldn't go. He got a lot of those scholarships snatched away. So he ended up going to a smaller school in Akron and fucking killing. So he was the star of the team. He was a linebacker. He was number 2, middle linebacker. So that was not the case at all. He was the best thing in Akron, period. He owned Akron. So that was not the case at all. So it was nobody like just as good as him. There was nobody in the running with him. None of that. He had many awards. He was just, and this is what I'm about to tell you, as far as if we step outside of their agenda, I used to, it's just so funny we're talking about this. I told this guy, I was like, bro, that when he got drafted, bro, I was like, bro, it's like, bro, you were destined for this. I literally told him this, and my other friends, we all said this. We was like, because he was always just like, bro, he was just so focused on this. He's a quiet guy naturally. He was just like, bro, this is all he cared about. Like, he was just focused. This is all he, like, he just loved it, bro.
So you and him are no longer friends?
We're still friends, just not, because we used to be together like every day, and like, you know, you get older. I got my own place. I live in a different city. He lives in a different city, and you know, I don't know where he lives, but he lives in a different city. But we're still in contact.
You think it's possible to schedule up a interview between him and me?
I don't know.
Will he be willing? Will he be willing to speak about his experience in the NFL? I mean, we don't have to talk about how it's rigged or anything like that. Just I want to see learn his path to the NFL. How was it? You know.
I can see. We're still on live, but I can see.
Yeah, because I know Larry Johnson, and because you said earlier today that it's hard for you to believe that all these players are internet because it's human nature for them to speak out. And I told you, even if they decide to speak out, like the running backs Denny Cunningham and Larry Johnson who decided to speak out, it really doesn't matter because all the media has to do is just call them crazy, like how they did to Larry Johnson and Benny Cunningham. Because there's an article where they admit that the NFL is scripted.
That's very true, and I'm gonna tell you with those guys, especially you say those guys are with the throw up the Masonic hand symbols and they know about all this knowledge. And Larry Johnson's a big name, so I don't doubt he was down with it too. And I'm gonna tell you what also the elite, whoever's in charge of all of this, the powers that be, they do reverse psychology a lot. So if he comes out and he never knows, but he was always throwing up the hand signals, and he was always, and if you've seen him kind of fucking up a certain plays and you just knew it was on purpose, they could actually get him to come out and say hey, you go ahead and admit that it was rigged. This stuff is by the numbers, just like your page says, it is by the numbers. Even sometimes when they come out and say certain shit, they I don't know, bro. They know when information. It's certain things are going to get out, so you have to mix the truth with the lie. You don't just give people a huge lie, which is why I say you will not give the entire league. You will not rig the entire league. Everybody, every single body in that league, you're not banking on them to hold your truth. That's just not how deception works. I'm not going to bank on you guys to hold my truth when all you guys got best friend that has best friends. You guys go out and get drunk. You guys go out and get high. Me and Jatavius, we did all type of shit. Bro, we're best friends, bro. So all the time in his most vulnerable state, at his weakest, when his dad died, we don't all of those, bro. We're talking about a 52-man roster plus practice teams. These are
okay, but look what this article says. It says former NFL running backs Benny Cunningham and Larry Johnson, who is a known conspiracy theorist, went to Twitter. Fell was scripted. Cunningham says that they have to sign something that wouldn't let them go into detail about it, but asked who wanted the full story. So they signed I guess a paper that said that they can't speak about it in detail.
They split when they got to the league, you're saying?
Yes, once you get to the league, you have to sign a paper that says you can't get into detail on how it's scripted.
Does it say those exact words?
That's exactly what the article says. This came out on November 6th, 2020.
They signed the contract, and you can't speak on how the games are scripted.
Yes, look. Okay, so are you looking at the screen? Because I'm putting it real big so you can see it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me go at the screen. I'm just like,
It says former NFL running backs Benny Cunningham. I'm reading it word for word. Former NFL running backs Benny Cunningham and Larry Johnson, who is a known conspiracy theorist, went to Twitter to say how the NFL was scripted. Cunningham says that they have to sign something that wouldn't let them go into detail about it, but asked who wanted the full story.
gotcha. I got you. Yeah, I know nothing about that, but I
So that's what I'm
promise you,
saying.
bro.
So it's possible that
Yeah, it's true.
your friend didn't
But
know, but once he got to the league, if they made him sign this paper, that means they are telling the player that the games are scripted, and they're telling them you
bro,
have to sign a paper, and then you're not gonna say anything about it. This is coming.
bro,
This is coming from Cunningham, a former NFL player.
I got you. But I promise you, if they are making them sign that, I promise you, it's just like in the music business, how they play the deception game. They do not know.
But Cunningham knows it is scripted. He said they make you sign something that says that you can't go into detail about it.
Okay, that doesn't mean every player knows exactly
But
what they're
yeah,
signing.
he says no. He says that every player is okay. So let's see if he says every player. Um, but because the thing is, he doesn't say that certain players have to sign it. He just says they have to sign. They have to sign something that wouldn't let them go into detail about it. They, which
Bro,
means the players.
bro, I promise you, I can just feel it, bro. I promise you, if we seen that contract, I bet those words will be put in such deceptive ways. It's the same, bro. This is how they work with deception, even in the music industry. I promise you, every player in the NFL does not know the NFL is just fucking fake. They don't, bro. They don't. Like that's how they deceive, bro. Like even with the same thing with contracts, this is how these music artists sometimes they don't even know they're signing their life away. Some of them do, and some of them don't. That's why you can pull up a lot of interviews of some of these guys crying, and I've seen interviews of some of the women crying like I didn't know what I was doing, getting myself into, bro. They work in big industries like that, and he probably does know. And like he's a conspiracy theorist, like you said. So that means he studies. That means he wants to know shit. Some of these guys, bro. Coming out of college, bro, and this is your dream, bro. You signing your ass off. Like, give me that pen. This is how they kids. So
But in the case of Jatavius Brown, I just feel like I don't believe in coincidences. This guy was born on a day with 133 and 43 numerology, the football numbers. It's believable that a person is gonna be born on a day with matching numbers that hit the sport that he was gonna be good at. I mean, what's the odds of that? And then he was born on the 49th day of the year. I mean, and he ends up being an NFL player. That's a lot of coincidences, if you ask me.
I got you. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in synchronicity. I believe we're all synchronized in some type of way with the universe. We are all, and they know this, bro. They can use this stuff in ways that we just don't know. It's all synchronized. It's not coincidences. Like I'm the same way with you, bro. It's not coincidences, but it's just not like as black and white as we think it is. It's not like so what you're telling me, you're thinking that they just like knew he was going to be born for this. It's like,
Well, no. A lot of them are born and bred to be. They once the baby is born, they choose them and they train them from a young age. That's why you see a lot of these kids in little leagues at a young age. They're already playing professional sports, and that's probably why Mr. Brown was so dedicated, because he probably was approached at a very young age, and they probably told him, "You're gonna be in the NFL. We just need you to do this and this and this, and then you're gonna be rich. You're gonna get a contract. This is gonna be your path." And his family probably agreed, and that's why he probably was so dedicated.
No, his family wasn't even like that, bro. Like he grew up with his dad, bro. It was like nothing like that, bro. I grew up around so many football players and so many NFL people that went to the league, people that went in the league and left. Like I've been around so many of them, and I'm telling you, like like some personality. So the fact that people have so many different personalities, you just cannot rely on a human to hold a secret such as that to keep an
I mean,
entire.
I was speaking about that yesterday. That's not true. I mean, there's a lot of people who keep secrets. I mean, think about local gangs like the Bloods and the Crips. You can't go up to a Blood or a Crip and ask them about any of the codes or any of their criminal activity.
Bro,
You can't do that. They're not gonna tell you,
exactly. But listen,
and they're
but
not
local
making
gangs and
millions
the
of
blood,
dollars.
right? It's but you know what local gang, you know what a blood is? That's blood in, blood out. You know what you got to do to get in there, and you
The
know what you
same
got to
thing you
do to
have to
get.
do to get to the NFL. Blood in and blood out. It's the same thing. A lot of
What do
these
you mean?
players, they have sacrifices. They have to sacrifice their family members. Sometimes they have to go to jail. There's some type of humiliation process. They go through the same thing, and a lot of them are threatened. You know, if you say something, you know that paper, you don't know what it says on that paper. Like you said, it could say, you know, if you violate this order or this contract, then you know we might eliminate you or your family.
Right. So you think everybody who's went to the league, they had to
Well,
do it.
this is coming from Benny Cunningham's mouth. He said that every player has to sign. He has to sign something that wouldn't let them go into detail about the contract. He says every player.
Yeah, I hear that,
That
bro.
means that includes Jatavius Brown because Jatavius Brown ended up in the
That's
NFL.
true, bro. But it's not like you're thinking it like you're thinking it's like so you're thinking like it's just that simple. Like the paper's gonna say, hey, this is entertainment, by the way, but we don't want you to tell anybody that. No, bro. The words they don't do it like that, bro. It's very deceptive, bro. It's gonna deceive, like, bro.
So how you think Benny Cunningham, who is we agree that Benny Cunningham is a nobody. He was never a star. Maybe Larry Johnson, you could consider him a star, but Benny Cunningham was okay.
But didn't you call them conspiracy theories at the same
No,
time?
no, that's what the article says. The article says Larry Johnson, and then they have in quotation marks who is a known conspiracy theorist. That's not me
Okay,
calling
so
him that. And I don't think Larry Johnson is a conspiracy theorist. I just think that
yeah, they're trying to discredit them then.
exactly that's what the media does. So that's what I'm saying. Because earlier you were saying that how can players keep their mouth shut? I mean, it's simple. If they don't keep their mouth shut, that's when they end up in the headlines, or the media just has to tarnish their reputation or call them names and say that they're crazy and stuff like that, and call them
Yeah, bro.
conspiracy theorists.
With you, I agree with you, but I'm still saying not every player. No, not as far as to rig the games. You don't need every player, and bro, you don't, bro. You don't need every player, bro.
I mean,
You
just
don't.
look at what I told yesterday with what's the guy's name, Rashad Higgins. I mean, Rashad Higgins is not a big name, and you saying that
Right,
certain you don't need big names, right? But
right.
unless if I don't show you,
And I told you, I think Rashad Higgins for sure, bro. I played football myself, and the ball wouldn't even fall that way. The way he literally put momentum.
okay, but that's what I'm saying. If I don't show you that replay, then you won't consider him part of the people that are in the know.
What?
It took that video for you to notice that it was so on purpose, that it was obviously scripted for that play to go all the way it did.
Exactly, but this is how you can know he's in the know. It doesn't like really matter.
But you don't think, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Rashad Higgins is not running his mouth; he's keeping a secret.
I got you, but it does not mean everybody else.
But if I'm just saying, if Rashad Higgins is keeping a secret, why can't the other ones do it?
Because I bet if you check Rashad Higgins' background, I bet he's a part of some brotherhood that he already this shit is already.
Well, to be honest, I think Jatavius Brown too, because the guy played 56 games for his career, the Jesuit number. Society of Jesus is 56. And then he retired the Eagles. Eagles is 49, like how he was born on 49th day of the year. So if you ask me,
listen, and bro, yes, they do these things, bro. I'm pretty sure the agents, they know because they work with the agents. I'm pretty sure they know how the agents to get these guys want the bigger contract. So guess what? He chose that off the biggest. I was literally right when he chose I was right with him when he chose the contract. We're going to give him the most money with this contract. We know these guys want money. We're going to let the agent prep them up. Everything that's around these guys, when you put a surrounding around a person, you can sway some very big decisions in the ways that you want it. But as far as a brotherhood, no, he's not in no brotherhood. This guy is barely sociable, bro.
So okay, so let's go back to that Rashad Higgins play. So what about the defender? You think the defender is in on it as well, or you think he was just making a defensive play? Because look how if you look at the picture, I mean, the guy, he went after Rashad Higgins with his helmet. It was so obvious that that's what his intentions were. Because that's not the proper way. You're a professional football player. You know you can't tackle using your helmet.
Right. And see why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because the context clues, the context clues are really big for me too. This is why I tell you I don't know sometimes, when I tell you, oh yeah, it's obvious. See, in those situations, bro, they, like I told you, the butterfly effect. They know about all these spiritual things. They know how something small from the beginning can affect something so big in the end. Like you said, with the technology, with certain field goals.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, number 49 for the Chiefs, who I don't even know who that is, the guy that went and tackled Rashad Higgins at the end zone. Do you agree that he's in on it? Because you agreed that Rashad Higgins is in on the rigging. But what about the defender?
Throwing the damn ball out of his hand.
Yeah, that was so obvious. That's obvious. But what about the defender? Yeah. What about the defender in this play?
How could I say though?
I'm just saying. I mean, the guy tackled him. You think that's a professional? He's a professional football player. You think that's a play that a professional football player is gonna make, to tackle a guy with his helmet? He didn't even attempt to use his arms.
Right. Yeah, he went straight with his head.
He went straight to his head like he was instructed to do.
Yeah, and look at the situation they're in. This is a big game. They know they're gonna line the
exactly. Okay, fine. But I'm saying, so answer my question: is number 49 for the Chiefs part of the rigging? Was he part of this play? Part of the script in this play?
Bro, if I gave you a yes and no, I would be lying. I could not give you a yes and no with that.
I mean, just look at his reaction. You gave me a yes for Rashad Higgins, so why wouldn't you be able to?
Because I see him throwing the ball, and I play receiver.
Okay, so what about a guy tackling a player with his helmet when he knows that because he didn't think about it if it was you. And this is not anybody. This is not a guy in the park. This is a professional football player.
Let me tell you this. I got you. I hear you. But this is what I'm going to also take into consideration, because I play football and these are split seconds.
So if you play football, okay, so then you must know that this is not the way to tackle a player.
Very true, but this is a split-second decision thing, and when your nerve system to make sure, like your nervous system is to not make sure he doesn't get in this touchdown. Whatever you got to do to keep this fucker out, you will. But listen, like I said, these are professional players. So
okay, so have you played any other sport like basketball?
Yeah, I played basketball.
Okay, have you been in clutch moments?
Yes.
Have you made a silly mistake like this? Like, for example, have like bounced the ball with two hands, and something that you as a basketball player know that you can't do because the referee is going to call it. Have you done that before in a clutch moment? This contradicts what you're saying, because in clutch moments you actually become a better player. You're going to make lesser mistakes because of the moment. You know not to make a mistake because you know how big the moment is.
That, and I know where you're going, because in the NBA they make the most mistakes than they're in the clutch moments. I get you. You're right.
Okay, so how come this player that went and tackled Mr. Higgins, and then that became the headliner? That became the story of the day. You know, they called it targeting. A missed targeting is called, which some say 101, like the 101st NFL season, and then they said that the targeting, the missed call on the targeting, ended the Cleveland Browns season. Think about it. Targeting is 101, and this is the 101st NFL season.
See, exactly, Arthur. See, when you tell me these type of facts, because they needed that targeting to line it up with the numbers, of course they were going to tell him to go target, for sure. But
why? Okay, so that means he knows that it's rigged. Because why would I be? I'm a player who's trying to compete. Why would I be like, Coach? I'm gonna target. They're gonna call. Why would I do that? They're gonna.
How simple they can be too. I'm gonna tell you why you don't have to get all. I'm gonna tell you, even they didn't even have to get number 49 in on the entire big secret. He doesn't even probably see it as rigged. See, this is what they did to Jalen Ramsey one time before he actually started understanding, because he's from Florida too, and a lot of his boys. We were talking about this too. He was like, bro, they just would not let me. Like, they were telling me, going into second half, they were telling me to just like let this happen, bro. Like, why would I let this happen? These guys really be pissed about this sometimes, but they give them good reasons.
So why are they not speaking out?
Shit, that beats me, bro.
Because they're keeping a secret.
Yeah, but this is no. This is what I'm saying. It's not always. They don't always like number 49. I'm not saying he doesn't know the entire thing is rigged, but This is what I'm saying. They do. I know this for a fact. They do this in certain moments when they know number 49 is going to be in this situation. Hey, I'm going to need you to hit that guy with a target because of yada yada yada. And they give them a bigger picture where they can make it.
And you saying that these guys are so dumb that they're gonna go and target a player that they know is gonna affect the team, and none of the teammates is gonna say, "Man, why you did that?" Because this is the thing. Right after that play was over.
Listen, bro. If it's coming from the owner, if it's coming from the team owner, the manager, and the coach, my nigga, this is the team.
No. When, like, for example, in basketball, if I'm the star player and you mess up like that, you're messing up my career. I'm gonna be screaming at you. I'm gonna be fighting with you. You don't see any of that when the plays is over. Nobody went up to Rashad Higgins and said, "Why did you do that? That was so dumb. Why would you throw the ball in?" And nobody went up to the defender and said, "Wow, man, that was risky. Why did?" These players go back to their bench, they put their head down, and then you see the camera zooming on their face. You don't see any of the other players fighting with them, arguing with them. It's because they all know what it is. They all know it's a puppet show.
In college, I got you, but even in college, you make a mistake. The last thing, if you're a good team, you're taught to.
Well, I've played in tournaments before, and whenever especially in clutch moments, when you do something wrong, the first people to bark at you is your teammates.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys probably were not a disciplined team as disciplined. I'm telling you, I played on a championship team, bro, and this is not what we did, bro. If I got beat, I played cornerback. If I got beat, the last thing, because I need to regroup when I go back in that next play, the last thing you guys should do is be on my case. Tell me, like, no, you fucked up, yeah. But you guys are not just going to be breathing down my neck because you know I have to go back in the game the next drive to play again. So this is a factor, too, bro. It's a lot of factors in it. Which is why I'm telling you, I'm with you. This shit is so rigged. It is some players, but it is not every single player. And even the people that sometimes they sit in the game when they're.
But you do agree that number 49 is in on the rigging in this play with Rashad Higgins. You do agree on that.
If you just said it made the news article and the numbers added up with his target, and then for sure because they wanted him to target for sure.
So he knows that he did this. And this was gonna cause because what if the ref would have called this targeting, then it would have been ugly for the Chiefs.
Oh, he didn't call the targeting?
No, the referees dismissed it. It was a missed call. So that way the ball.
You know what could have happened too? That could have went both ways. Just like you said, he could have just in case that guy would have. What I mean. Wait, what am I trying to say?
Yeah, because look. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you what happened. So Rashad Higgins, he catches the ball and then he throws the ball. You saw that play, right? When he threw the ball in the end zone, that was obvious. There's no debating that, right? But the defender, the big headline was that the defender tackled him with an illegal targeting with his helmet, which is illegal in football. It's called targeting. And by him doing that, and by the ref missing that call, it cost the Cleveland Browns their season. And that was the big headline all day today. But what I'm saying is number 49 had to be in on it because he knows as a professional football player that you cannot tackle using your helmet.
Yeah, and I'm looking.
And by him doing that, it's obvious that he was instructed to do that.
Right. No,
and then for the referees not to call it.
I'm looking at the image now, bro, and he for sure is trying to target.
Exactly. He's not even using his arms. He's not even reaching for the ball. He's not. He's not doing anything else but going after the guy with his helmet, like how he was instructed to do.
Yeah, you can tell. I'm looking right at him, like he's like in fucking rhino mode.
Yes.
His head is just.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Why are these players who know that it's rigged? You're saying that these players are in a fraternity? Well, I believe that it's all of them.
No, it's not all of them.
So why aren't okay? I guess all right. So I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree once again.
For sure. Why I'm saying this is because you just don't need all of the players to be in on it, bro.
But you do need number 49 and number what's this guy's number? Number 82 to be in on it for this play.
You need them because they are on that field, they are starting, and it's gonna come down to some big plays. There's only 11 players on each team. This is not much. This is not. You don't need too many people to keep the secret. You don't need much, bro.
Yes, you do. Well, you do. You need everybody to be on the same page.
You got technology, not when you got referees that can throw flags at any time. You don't need the entire. You don't need everybody.
But like I told you earlier, these games, even the time the amount of time that it takes for these games to end, it's always so perfect, right? If the game is
Yeah.
scheduled for 3 hours and it ends at 3:01, it's because it was intended to end at 3:01. So if a player that doesn't know about the rigging, he continuously makes flags during the game and does things to alter the script, the game is gonna take longer than what it's supposed to be. If a game is scheduled for 3 hours and there's a player who is not in on the rigging, what are you gonna do? Not play him ever? Just have him on the sideline?
Yeah.
Doesn't
No,
make a lot
bro.
of sense.
It's no, bro. It's premeditated, bro. They know who's going to be on the field, and if someone is fucking it up, they know how to put that time back on the clock. They know, bro. They know how to play it, bro. But believe me, bro, I'm too close with.
See if you're able to get Mr. Brown to speak with us. I don't know if he's gonna want to do it, but I'm just saying it won't hurt to try, you know. And I'll ask him because I could be wrong. You know, it's possible that I'm wrong, but I'm just saying all these stuff that I see with every single day, especially with the Rashad Higgins play, it just points me that everybody's in on it, and it's all been rehearsed.
For sure, no, for sure, and bro. This is why you see people all of a sudden retiring, bro. This is exactly why what's his name? Andrew Luck, I think. This is why he left. He literally said
No, he left. He left by the numbers. Really, to be honest, I covered his retirement.
No, yeah, bro. Just because it's by the numbers, it doesn't mean he didn't leave because he found that out.
I mean, all right, well,
they're always, bro. They can give him the date, bro. They can give him, okay, if you're gonna leave, exit on this date. We'll let you go, yada yada yada. It's by their numbers, bro. Whatever you want to do, they can do it by the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
No, I disagree because it's stuff. It lines up it just lines up from the day that they signed the contract. It's just too perfect, you know. It's too perfect. Like Kobe Bryant, like even the day, like Kobe Bryant's career was scripted before he was even born. And I know you're gonna say Kobe Bryant is an exception, but how did they know that Kobe Bryant was gonna develop into Kobe Bryant? You know, so that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't they do that with other players?
No, bro. I think for sure the knowledge is just deeper than we're fathoming right now. Like, bro, that knowledge is deep, bro. Like, for real. I think bro, you're blocked off from a lot of knowledge that they know just about life. It's deep, bro. The shit is deep, bro. And it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's higher spirituality knowledge, bro. And it's not that they just certain players, bro, just like they have industry plants and stuff like this. It's like how they go pick up 6ix9ine out of the blue. Hey, yada yada, do this, and they can already plan how his entire career is going to be. For sure, I get that. But it's at certain certain low key, no name players like Jatavius Brown, bro. It's not from birth. They're not approaching them when they're babies, bro, and saying, hey, if you do this, you can make it. Because he could have broke his leg and not make it. Like, anything, bro. He could have completely snapped his leg.
But okay, so going back to your friend, right? He was like the odds of him being born on the 49th day of the year and becoming an NFL player, that by itself is remarkable, right? Because it's
so that means everybody in the NFL has to have football numbers, right?
Well, most of them do. Like Tom Brady was born on August 3rd, 83. Football is 83. Every single player is given a paper. Games are rigged and scripted. Because how did Benny Cunningham find out that the games are rigged? Benny Cunningham is coming now and admitting it. They gave us a paper. They gave us a paper to sign. We cannot go into detail. Same thing with Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, well, I mean, he's just that. I know he's a liar, but Benny Cunningham was he's not a big name.
Yeah. Is that by the numbers? With Benny Johnson coming out too, or you don't know?
Well, I haven't looked into his the day that he came out and said this, but it probably is. You know, he's probably being told to come out and admit that the NFL is rigged. You know. That's how they work too. The NFL will probably put these two players in positions to say, tell people that the games are rigged. But one thing that these players are not gonna tell you is like they'll say what Benny Cunningham is saying. Oh, we cannot go into detail. So why come out and say that the games are rigged if you can't go into detail? What's the point of that? If you're gonna come out and admit that the games are rigged, tell it all. It's obvious why he's not telling it all because he knows better.
Right.
So they're just giving us like a teaspoon of the truth.
That's true, and it's by the numbers, like you said. It's true. I agree. I agree. The only thing, like you said, we just want to agree to disagree on that fact.
So
On that
let's
fact,
see if you can reach out to Mr. Brown and see if he wants to even wants to speak about it. If he doesn't, it's okay. Because I definitely have a lot of questions for him.
For sure, I'll definitely try. For sure, I'll definitely try.
All right, well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling out, and thank you for reaching out to me. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Appreciate you too.
All right, brother. Hello? Can you lower the video in the background, please?
Yeah, I paused I was just making sure it's simple truth. What's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
Ain't nothing much. So, I just tagged you in a post that I made last night about the Pope.
Are you calling in regards to the topic? Because I really want this video to be on with the topic.
Well, it's the art of rigging, right? I mean, is it just sports stuff?
Yeah. If you want to call me privately after the live stream, then you could do that.
All right, cool.
All right.
And if you want just to look at the post, I just re-tagged you in it.
Okay, no problem. I'll definitely take a look.
All right.
All right. So let's see if I can get in contact with Mr. Brown, because this will be. Let's see. What's going on? Yeah, I would really appreciate it if I could get in contact with Mr. Brown. So the caller, if you can get this interview, I would really appreciate it, because I have a lot of questions for him. I want to, because what the caller is claiming is that him and Jatavius Brown, they grew up together. They are close friends. They used to live in the same room, and he's saying that he was even there when Jatavius Brown signed his contract. So he's saying that Jatavius Brown did not know at all from the beginning, from the day that he signed his contract to the day that he retired. And it looks like he retired, according to Wikipedia, he retired on August 9th, 2020. And then they had him retire from the Eagles. Eagles is 49, like he was born the 49th day of the year. But they're saying that he didn't know anything about it during his whole 4-year career. Guy keeps calling and doesn't say anything. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, yes.
Can you lower the video in the background, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yes. I'm in agreement with the last two people, the guy that you spoke to yesterday and today, that every player is not in on this. Okay, I understand Gematria. I'm getting into that. But there's one thing that's stronger than Gematria that you fail to realize, and it's called energy. Now, boy, and these people that know this Gematria, that come up, the front office is probably telling these coaches what to do, because they do have people all up in that booth.